Thank you for joining us. I'm Wanda Scarborough, and I have as my guest today Monica Barber. Monica works for the City of West Point as the Community Development Specialist. And Monica, tell us what you do as the Community Development Specialist.
Sure, thanks Wanda. I appreciate you inviting me to be on
you're
your
welcome.
show. As the Community Development Specialist for the City of West Point, my responsibility is to bring needed resources to the residents of the city. These resources may be in the areas of youth development, workforce development, economic development. I've really enjoyed working for the city, and I'm encouraged by the number of people who really want to see new things happening in the city of West Point.
Yes.
So it's been great. It's been a great 2 years.
Yes, and really the first thing that you've started working on is the Youth Advisory Council. Is that right?
That's right. The Youth Advisory Council is a leadership development program for youth. Students ages 13 through 19 are invited to come and participate in monthly sessions where they learn the needed skills that will help them in future endeavors as leaders in our community, and maybe beyond.
Yes. What are some of the things that they do?
The students have participated in a number of workshops, workshops on health and teen pregnancy, workshops on anti-smoking campaigns. They have gone to several city council sessions. The students enjoy creating programs to help the community. For instance, last year, the students received a small grant for a childhood obesity prevention program, and they created West Point Stays Fit.
Wow. Now, where'd the grant come from?
The grant was offered through Youth Service America and the United Healthcare.
And they wrote the grant?
Actually, I wrote the grant.
You wrote the grant? Okay.
I wrote the grant.
And how much was the grant for?
It was a small grant for $500.
Okay, and what did they do with that?
But the small grant allowed them to offer a fitness walk for families, anybody, any age. It helped them to develop a fitness campaign that included original music and flyers and advertisements. And now they're in the process of creating a fitness program for young people, for smaller children.
Wow.
Kind of an after-school exercise program.
Wow.
So that's this year's task.
Yes. And do these youth come to a community building on a regular basis, or are they just leadership people? Are they youth that have been identified as leaders in the community, or?
No, we actually have an application process.
Okay.
And last year the students were nominated, so to speak, by community leaders. Some school officials, some were maybe like people from the housing authority, and community leaders.
Yes.
And they were recommended to the program, applied to the program, and we accepted everybody who came last year because they're all such outstanding students, just real go-getters.
Yes.
So we accepted everyone, and they were really enthusiastic about making a difference in the city of West Point.
That's so encouraging. And one of the reasons I wanted to do this show is that I want people to realize what the young people are doing in our community. We've been recognized as one of the 100 best communities for youth, which means that we have a lot of resources to offer young people. But as we are offering those services to the young people, I've been amazed at the quality and the character and the enthusiasm that the young people have, and how they actually really want to make a difference. And they have what it takes to make a difference.
Yes, they care.
Yes.
They care deeply about their community. Everyone is amazed at how energetic and how forward-thinking these young people are.
Yes.
And every group that I work with, and there are other groups that we may discuss
Yes.
later, but every young group that I work with is just full of students who have bright ideas and dreams, and they're not all wishing to take those dreams to Atlanta.
Yes, yes.
Some of these students really, really want to make their community a better place, and they want to be a part of that. They want to be at the helm, so to speak. So
Yes.
I believe that our positions as mayors and council people and school board members are secured because the students that are coming up are insightful and hardworking.
Yes,
So-
and I think I see a new move to really develop young people, even like with starting in pre-K, that there's more of a effort going out to make sure they're ready for school, and then in school that there are places where they can rise up and show their leadership abilities. I think also with West Point getting the new college there,
Yes,
Point University, you know, those students are so geared toward their community and volunteering and being servant leaders there that it's like there is a move in the young people to, like you said, the age was 13.
That's right.
13 to
Yes.
19, was it?
19.
That y'all are working with that group, and then there's the college group. And I know that you've been involved also in Troup County,
Yes.
yes, with youth
Youth
leadership. And I attended one of those meetings. You invited me to one of those.
Yes.
And the ages there are high school students.
High school students who are nominated by their instructors and their teachers and different school officials and administrators. These are super students.
Yes.
Every last one of them. They're dedicated. They're busy. There was no student that didn't have 4 and 5 different programs and sports activities and clubs
Yes.
going on at the same time. They're jugglers, and I can't imagine being that involved and busy at
And
that young
committed
age.
to the things that they're involved in.
They
Yeah, there were
are.
37 in the group.
Yes, the largest class ever.
Yeah, and they
Yes.
just graduated.
They just graduated last night. A
Yes.
wonderful group. Several of them have ambitions to, go on and do great things. These are students who are, like I said, very involved in the community. A small selection, a small group of students, after hearing the information in your session, which was on
Uh-huh.
ethics and morality,
Yes.
decided that they wanted to go to Hope Academy and mentor to the students there.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Called Garfield Duckett
Uh-huh.
and made arrangements to go and visit.
That is so
And
encouraging.
I just love that.
Yes.
I love
And
it.
these are students from Troup High, Callaway,
Yes.
LaGrange High.
That's right.
Is it
LaGrange Academy?
LaGrange Academy?
Yes, any school in the area.
Yes.
Yes.
And they made application to be a part of youth leadership.
That's right. And their administrators and teachers sent in nomination forms and recommendation forms to support their applications.
Yes.
And we selected 36
Yeah. There was
and
a.
one exchange student.
Oh wow.
It has been the most positive, exciting experience that I've had in a while.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they would say the same.
Yeah. Well, I only learned about leadership, youth leadership last year.
Yes.
How many years has it been going on?
Wow. During the graduation last night, Debbie Burdett, who was one of the originators of
Yes.
the program here in Troup County, mentioned that she was thinking about how long the program had been around, and she said, too long, longer than I'd like to remember. So we're not sure
Yeah.
about that answer, but it's been
It's been a
several
while.
years. Yes.
Well, tell me some of the things that the youth leadership program allows the youth to experience? What are
Sure.
some of the things y'all do with
Well,
them?
being a leadership development program,
Uh-huh.
it encourages the young people to evaluate themselves and their surroundings, so to speak.
Uh-huh.
So we started out with a ropes course so that they would know how to work in teams.
Right.
Know how to kind of evaluate the strengths within your team so that you can accomplish your goals.
Yes.
We also had sessions on goal setting, leadership styles and communication, which they loved, ethics and morality. Who am I? Just exactly what qualities do I have that make me unique?
Yes.
The students enjoyed every session. We had some wonderful, wonderful sponsors and hosts that offered us suppers and just facilitators that provided wonderful information that the students can carry with them, as I stated to them last night, through their lives, through their college career, through their business careers.
Yes.
I mean, it's just information that they're being introduced to, but information that they will get again and again and can use over and over again.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, did they take any field trips together? Did they go to visit like any government meetings or?
No, it was
Okay.
mostly centered about the student and getting to know who you are and how you operate and know thyself before
Yes.
you know. So it was mostly centered on the students. So we didn't really have any field trips.
Uh-huh.
But again, the speakers were from such diverse locations in the business and
Yes.
and in business community and community at large that they did get a very good
Overview of what's, and
They
they had their
did.
meetings in different places, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We were everywhere from the United Way to the hospital to LaGrange College, the Chamber of Commerce. We were all over.
And then those people in those organizations spoke to the group to give them an idea of what their organization did. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There was always that aspect of every session. We kind of learned about where we were
Yes.
and what the mission of the location. The host usually told us about their organization and what the mission was.
Yes.
And then we would get into our session.
Well, the night I came, it was on ethics and morality.
Yes.
And I was really impressed with the questions that came from the young people. And it was questions about how to deal with things in their family,
Yes.
how to deal with things in their own life, and how to deal with things that come up with their friends. And I was also impressed with how they truly wanted to know what we thought, and they were open to our advice. And I got a thank you note from one of the
Yes.
young men that was in the class. And one of the things he said was, "Thank you for the time and for your wisdom that you shared at the meeting."
Yes.
And I thought, lots of times we don't realize how important it is to young people to sit with someone that's older and maybe has more experience
Right.
and can share some answers that they're looking for. And, I'm going to share one of the things that was asked, and that was that I am trying to be a good student.
Right.
I am a good student, but I work to be a good student, and I am involved in sports, and I do several sports, and I want to do that, and I feel like I have lots of people depending on me to do that, but it comes with a sacrifice.
Right.
And that even like his daddy had come and said, you've got to go to bed.
Right.
But it's like after being involved in sports all day, then maybe you have a project at school, and so we talked about priorities and those kinds of things, and they were talking about when you're trying to be perfect, and I shared that I used to try to be perfect too, but I realized that you can't be perfect.
Right.
And that realization was kind of hard to accept, because you just feel like sometimes if I just try a little harder to do this, then I know I can do it.
Right.
And so you spend a lot of energy trying to do it just a little bit better, and you get to that point and you need to do something else. So really you've set your expectations too high.
Right.
And even though it was kind of a disappointment that you couldn't be perfect, it was a relief.
Right.
Because then you could just relax and be yourself. And so, that was one of the things that I got to share. But when he wrote me that thank you note, then I could share some other things that I had thought about. And
Nice.
and I just want to share those. And that is that lots of times we are trying to be perfect, but when we have Jesus Christ in our life, he has made us perfect. We are the righteousness of Christ. And we can relax and know that we are whole and that we are perfect and we are righteous. And we can live our life from that perspective, and that gives us a rest.
Right.
That we don't have to just all the time be working
Right.
to be somebody. He's already made us somebody.
Right. Right.
I mean, he's already made us highly favored sons and daughters of the Most High God.
And we have to remember that there was only one that was perfect.
That's right.
So we strive as Christians to be like him.
Yes.
And in doing so, we have to remember that perfect is not necessarily whatever our definition is.
That's right.
Whatever is in my mind that's perfect may not be God's perfect for me.
That's right.
So I have to sit still, be quiet,
Yes.
and listen.
Yes.
Because oftentimes he's telling me what I need to do,
Uh-huh.
and it may not be what I think
Yeah.
I should do.
That's right.
So young people, they're just starting out.
They are.
They don't know this. They're inexperienced in everything because
Yes.
they're newbies.
Yes.
So,
and I didn't learn it when I was young. I learned it when I was older.
Right.
But if we can transfer that knowledge and wisdom into the younger generation,
Right.
then they might not have to go through all the struggles and figuring out these things that we went through.
They can get a head start on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the way the kingdom of God is. It's a generational thing. There was Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. And that's the way God related to them. I am the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right.
And as the generations begin to connect, as the older generations begin to reach out and help the younger generations, we are both strengthened, because the older generation needs the zeal and the fire and the excitement that's in the young generation, and the young generation needs the wisdom and the knowledge that's in the older generation.
Right.
And so when we connect, there's a synergy that takes us even further than either one of us could have gone on our own.
It's so amazing that you should say that. There's a poem, and I'm at a loss as to the author's name, but it's a poem that's read every year when the youth leadership class graduates.
Uh-huh.
And it is exactly about what you're saying.
Yes.
How the older generation offers something to the younger generation, and the things that we do maybe aren't for ourselves and for our own, to edify ourselves,
Yes.
but it's to help pull one up,
Right.
to help a young person come across.
Yes.
It's a wonderful poem. I'm going to share that with you.
Okay.
But it is great. It
Yes.
is great.
And we're hearing people talk about how in the kingdom that what we accomplish, and particularly as parents, what we accomplish, if we are able to transfer that into the younger generation, then our ceiling becomes their floor.
Oh, yes.
And so they start off where we ended. You know, as we share what we've learned, then they are brought to that higher level, and then they can begin way above where we began.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what we want.
That's right.
We want the process to continue where we left it off.
That's
We
right.
don't want to backtrack.
Yes.
You know, we want young people to just move forward and excel.
Yes.
And I think these young people that I'm working with, they're going to be some contenders.
I believe they are too. And, you know, I just believe that the majority of young people have the qualities that are needed to excel. And, you know, the ones that are struggling with some problems, I just believe that there's some hurts. And I think we need to rush in to help figure out what those hurts are and heal those hurts and help restore them to where they need to be so that they can grab hold of the vision and run with it.
Yes.
And I believe also those that are hurt are going to be powerful when they are healed, because they will be used to help restore others who are hurt and bruised and broken.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's true.
that is.
Yes.
All right, now I want to talk a little bit about Leadership Troop, which is for the adults.
Yes.
And I went through Leadership Troop, and you went through Leadership
Yes.
Troop. And so I'd like to talk about that, because there are people who are older who are emerging leaders in our community, maybe new to our community or maybe not, who once they hear about it might want to get involved.
Well, I'll share my experience.
Okay.
I was selected, nominated to be a part of Leadership Troop, and I thought, leadership who? I don't know anything about this. And the more I heard about it, the more I thought, okay, I have lived in Troup County not long, but I've lived in West Point. Of course, you know West Point's part Harris and part Troup. but
Yes.
I've lived in West Point for 22 years. And I thought, there is so much about Troup County that I don't know.
Yes.
Just being in and around the city doesn't give you a good overview of the different resources that are offered in the city. It doesn't tell you about government. It doesn't really tell you about education unless you are a person who is really going to get out there and find out for yourself.
Seek it
so to
out,
speak.
yes.
It won't come to you.
Uh-huh.
And that was me. I was that person. I was that girl. So my experience with Leadership Troop was fantastic. I realized that there was so much that I didn't know about Troup County, and so many things I hadn't seen in Troup County, and best of all, so many people
Yes.
that I didn't know. So the connections that I made, and the friends that I made, and the contacts that I have, invaluable. The places that we went were just basically common places that you don't think about visiting. You really don't think about going to one of the manufacturing plants and just looking around unless you really work there,
Yes.
or unless something new comes in like Kia.
Yes.
But we didn't go to Kia. We went to a manufacturing plant that's here in Troup, and it's established. It's been here for a while, and you don't think about the different areas
Uh-huh.
in Troup County. We talked about what's going on in Hogansville, a little bit about what's going on in West Point. You know, the tourism and you know, arts
Yes.
workshop was wonderful.
Yes, and they have a day for those different kinds of things, don't they?
Yes.
They have an education day.
Right.
And what did you do on your education day?
On our education day, we started out at a United Way, and we talked about Troup Bell
Okay.
and all the great things that they're doing for preschoolers
Right.
there. And then we went to Troup County High School,
Okay.
and we were given a tour and talked a lot about the CTAE program and the kind of courses that students have access to
Yes.
opened our eyes.
Yes.
We also went to LaGrange College.
Wow.
So we kind of spanned the educational process from birth to college,
Yes.
through college.
Wow.
And it gave us a very good overview of what the schools are doing, what public schools are doing.
Yes.
Now, one thing, and I'm on the leadership troop board, so we have discussed possibly including private schools
Oh, yes.
next year. Well, actually, this year.
Yes.
for the new class, but it was like this was the process for every session. The session on government was very comprehensive.
Yes.
It was just, everything was great.
We have about 2 more minutes, so I just want to just cover a little bit about leadership troop and what they do. And so, you know, in business, they had a business day when
Yes.
I went, and we did tour Kia, and it was fascinating. And then they have an arts and entertainment day, and we got to go into the different places that train up our children with arts. And so they have a variety of things planned for the group, and they expose you to so many things, and also to leaders. We went to city council meetings, we went to talk to the commissioner chairman, just those kinds of things. It was a powerful experience.
It was.
And so I truly recommend it for the leadership in Troup County, for those of you who are emerging leaders. And you can also send an application in for yourself. And if you don't have the money, then there are some scholarships. Sometimes your business will sponsor you. So I just encourage you, if you have not done Leadership Troop, to do it. And Monica, I just want to thank you for being my guest.
Thank you.
And
I've enjoyed myself.
Yes. And I want to say that you truly make a difference in your community. And also, I want to encourage those of you out there that you make a difference too. Thank you for all you do.